Hey everybody! Welcome back to episode 3 of Say More. This is the series where I reflect on some of the very first songs and projects that I put out as Honeychild. And if we have not met yet, my name is Honeychild, and I'm a Philadelphia-based solo artist, musician, singer, songwriter. And sometimes I rap like what you saw in episode 2. Please go back if you haven't seen episode 2, where we talk about my song Tomboy Becky, off of the album that I first put out in 2018, my very first EP album mixtape. I clearly have still not landed on a title for it yet, and that project was called that I released again in 2018 on SoundCloud. So today we're going to continue with that EP project and the second track on that project called My Man. Now, I'll say right off that there is another version, a more recent version of My Man, but I'm going to try my best to do this video series in chronological order. So stay tuned for that one, the 2023 version of My Man. We are going to listen to the 2018 version of My Man. So we're going to listen to the whole thing, and then I'm going to come back, talk a little bit about, the background, inspirations, insights, all that good stuff, give y'all, a little bit of what I was thinking back then. You'll see some genuine reactions, and we will take it from there. So I'm going to cue up My Man, and we're going to listen to it, and I'll come back with some more stuff to talk about. As I mentioned, this project is on SoundCloud. It does very much still exist there. SoundCloud is just, back then and even today, SoundCloud was just a really awesome platform for so many artists that wanted to have an opportunity to really work on whatever it is they worked on without the constraints of thinking about, official streaming platforms. Okay, here we go. My man, he ain't my man at all. Said my man, he ain't my man at all. Though his hands are wide and he's mighty tall, my man, he ain't my man at all. He sits real pretty, smells like daisies, soft as a kitty, not as lazy, tongue so sharp it drives me crazy. Directors could call him Scorsese, my man. He ain't my man at all. No, said my man. He ain't my man at all. Though his shoes are large and his ego tall, my man, he ain't my man at all. Opens doors when he wants, pays when he's got it. Seldom likes to flaunt except to prove that he's got it. Wide at the hip, it ain't hard to spot it. Sensitive trigger, watch out for the shots. Woo, my man. He ain't my man at all. Don't you know, my man? This man, he ain't my man at all, at all, at all. If I were springtime, he certainly fall. My man, he ain't my man at all. One more time, my man, my man, my man, my man. He ain't my man at all, at all. Do 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 do, my man. This man, he really ain't my man at all. song is through, don't you know that we will be two? My man, he really ain't my man at all. Boo, 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 boo. Nice. Okay. So that was My Man, the 2018 version of the song. And again, that is off of the EP that I put out on SoundCloud back in 2018. Okay, reactions. Well, I think my first major reaction is I think I'm a different singer now. Like the quality of my voice, I'm constantly trying to work on the strength of my voice. I've sung all of my life in choirs when I was a kid, all the way up through college. I was in choirs, though I did major specifically in music education, graduate of Ithaca College, 2010, and my concentration at that time was trumpet. And so there is trumpet in this. That is me playing trumpet. My relationship to trumpet is very much like classically bred. So it was nice to be able to like bring in the trumpet and like interweave it with my voice. But yeah, my first reaction is that my voice, I just have a very different singing voice now. I feel like it's a little warmer, a little bit more confident. It's an evolving process. I'm always trying to find ways to really strengthen, like I said, my voice and make it feel more like me. Listening back at this, it doesn't quite feel like me. It almost feels like I'm cosplaying like a blues or jazz artist. But I'm I'm gonna say in every video, I think what I created then still very, very much stands. Okay, so a little bit of like background into this song. So this song, I don't always get this when I'm working on the creative process, but this was one of those tunes that I think I wrote the lyrics in a day. It came to me so easily. I'm sure I have somewhere in one of my various journals, like the original lyrics that I wrote down. I'm really big into like wordplay. I think I get that from like the Amy Winehouses of the world. She's very much an idol of mine, somebody that has a lot of like naughtiness in her lyrics. So I was definitely trying to go for some of that as I was writing My Man. And originally it was going to be, the lyrics are, my man, he's really not my man at all. It was originally going to be, my man, he's really not a man at all. Because I was thinking about like what would be a really cheeky way of like letting my family know, letting my loved ones know, letting people in my life know that have asked me in the past, like, oh, do you have like a man in your life? Do you have a boyfriend? Do you have like whatever? And thinking about how often I've gotten that question in my life and being like, what's a really cheeky response to that? So thinking that my man really is not a man at all. And somewhere along the lines, it changed. And truth be told, I'm not exactly sure why. But that is like the story behind it. It's like this subtle queerness. But if you listen to the lyrics, especially, let's see, my man, he ain't my man. He sits real pretty, smells like daisies, soft as a kitty, but not as lazy. So there's like these hints around this person having like feminine qualities that I added in the song. So I kept that element of it, but you really have to like listen closely to it. Some of the wordplay I really enjoy that I wrote is like, director's cut, call him Scorsese, my man. Like adding that kind of like stuff. I really enjoy doing that. Production wise, I was also playing guitar. I am not a guitarist. I have like a Fender Squier sitting over here in the corner. I still have it. And I use it to like practice. And sometimes playing guitar can be easiest for me to like figure out, just playing around with it. It's nice to be able to play around on an instrument that you don't know super well because mistakes happen. And I'm somebody that's like, when I hit a mistake that sounds really good, I'm like, oh, that's gonna go into like a song or something. So I play guitar barely. Mostly like piano is what I sit down on and practice the most. I'm getting back into playing my trumpet these days, which has been really nice and challenging, but nice. So production wise, it's very, very minimal. We're talking just guitar, trumpet, and my voice. And I like very minimal production. This was recorded in the basement of 2026 West Oxford when I was living with my sister Alex and our good friend Danica and my nephew and also frequent collaborator and producer Jay Rich. So major shout out to Jay for helping me figure out how to set up this project and being like an audio engineer on this project as well. That was really special getting to do that with him. Goodness, what else can I say about this? I'm really excited to be able to do a little bit of like compare and contrast to this version to the updated version that again was released in 2023. And, you know, a big part of me putting out this Say More series is that I have a tendency to want to fast forward past old projects and not give them a second listen. But this is like a moment for me to like reflect and also celebrate, like, you know, you really did that. You really did the damn thing. You know, this was a project, this I album EP was a project that I really wanted to push myself to create and sort of like stand out in the world and say like, this is Honey Child. This is who I am. So I will leave it at that for now. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for the feedback that you've been providing me. This has been just such an awesome series to be able to look back with you all in real time. And stay tuned for next week. We're going to keep pumping these out every Thursday for hashtag Throwback Thursday. And if you haven't checked out episode 1 and 2, please do that. Visit SoundCloud. The link for this song will be in the description below. So you can find that if you want to re-listen to it. And I will catch you all next week for another episode of Say More.